Today, Pokemon revealed 4 brand new Pokemon variants we've never seen before, and it's leading me to believe that these are going to be new Pokemon for the upcoming Pokemon Generation 10 games, Pokemon Wind and Pokemon Waves. For those who don't know, Pokopia released a 10-minute trailer showcasing everything about the upcoming Pokemon Animal Crossing game, and the big reveal that nobody was expecting was all the different Pokemon variants. We got this Professor Tangrowth right here. We got this Ghost Pikachu that's basically replacing Mimikyu called Pikachu. We have this adorable Mosslax that is a variant of Snorlax where it's been sitting on the island for way too long and has developed moss and stuff like that. Probably going to be transforming into a grass type. And then last but not least, we got Schmearguru, a new version of Schmeargle that is more of a painter. And with how detailed these designs are, you cannot tell me they're only going to be restricted to Pokopia. And the reason why I think that these Pokemon are going to potentially be Pokemon added to the upcoming Generation 10 games for a lot of reasons. One, we are most likely going to be getting some trailers and announcements for Pokemon Wind and Pokemon Waves in 2026, thanks to a lot of the leaks that we got from the Terra leak. For those that don't know, back in 2024, we had a whole entire terabyte of content leaked from Game Freak themselves of development around 2022, 2023 of a bunch of upcoming Pokemon games. And because of the fact that it's going to be the 30th anniversary for the Pokemon series next year in 2026, there is going to be all of the stops when it comes to making Pokemon games. We're going to be getting Pokemon Champions in 2026. We're going to be getting Pokopia in 2026. And as the year goes on, we're going to get the announcement for Pokemon Wind and Pokemon Waves, which again has been confirmed. There's been a lot of logos sourcing around 4chan, and content creators that have been posting that information on Twitter got just straight deleted from Nintendo. Why would Nintendo delete logos of Pokemon Wind and Pokemon Waves if they weren't real? For copyright infringement. And again, for the 30th anniversary, it's just going to do all the stops at the very end of this year. Another thing too about these new variants from Pokopia is Pokemon has done this before in the past where they showcase Pokemon for new generations of Pokemon games that were slated to get released in future games, but kind of teased it in the anime and in other video games. For example, Blaziken, as you guys know, in the Pokemon Johto League, Ash got defeated out of the tournament from a Blaziken that no one has ever seen before, one of the first reveals for a new Pokemon from the Hoenn region. We also had Bonsly showcased in Pokemon XD Gale Darkness, a Pokemon that was slated to get released in Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum, but was first revealed in XD Gale Darkness as a bonus Pokemon on top of the ship when you're trying to discover what the heck Cypher was doing in Pokemon XD Gale Darkness. Speaking of which, I wish Pokemon would release Pokemon XD Gale Darkness and Coliseum already. They promised to release those games on the Nintendo Switch too, and they have it already, but tangent aside, we love those games. So it's definitely leading me to believe with the details that we get from Pikachu, Mosslax, and Schmearguru, they gotta release these Pokemon in the upcoming Pokemon Wind and Waves. The only thing that makes me worried though when it comes to these exclusive Pokemon is that they might be potentially trapped in Pokopia only, because we have had exclusive variants of Pokemon that never got released in the mainline series games. Like for example, in XD Gale Darkness, we had Shadow Lugia, an amazing exclusive Pokemon that never got released in the mainline games, which honestly sucks because the design of it is just so peak. Like I'm telling you, man, add this to Gen 10, please. And with Primal Dialga from Pokemon Explorers of Sky, that never got released as a Pokemon variant. And that honestly sucks because for the fact that we got Primal Groudon and Primal Kyogre, why did Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl never release maybe a Primal Dialga from Explorers of Sky and make a Primal Palkia? That could have easily happened. But at the same time, even though those exclusive variants of Pokemon were only locked to those side series games, I think the fact that they're legendaries and they couldn't really come up with lore that would make sense in the mainline series of the Pokemon games, that might be why those specific variants of those Pokemon, since they're legendary, didn't get added into just regular Pokemon games. So with the fact that all these brand new Pokemon from Pokopia, like the Schmearguru, the Mosslax, and the Pikachu, since they have really intense details and they're just kind of just random variants of Pokemon, I could easily see them in future Pokemon games in the mainline series, especially for the fact that we get so many different variants too, like the Alolan variants, the Galarian variants, and the Paldalian variants. There's all sorts of different Pokemon species that adapt to their area that get showcased into other regions and stuff like that. It makes sense to be able to have those. I think the only one that we're not gonna get as a new variant is probably gonna be Professor Tangrowth. I like that Pokopia is still doing the Pokemon Professor for a Pokemon game, but again, having a Pokemon to do it. Because if you don't know about the plot of Pokopia, you start off as a Ditto on this island that needs help to get changed up, and the island island got eradicated, like all the humans gone, extinct. And Ditto just happened to just kind of just show up in this island, and your goal is to be able to create this island and bring life to it again. And Professor Tangrow's gonna kind of show you the ropes and help things out. So I'm gonna guess he's gonna be exclusive to only Pokopia. But again, I feel like the potential of a Pikachu variant that's really adorable is gonna be awesome. What's cool too is that according to Pokemon Wind and Pokemon Waves, we're supposed to get generated content, kind of like games like No Man's Sky, where the more you explore through the game itself, more things are gonna appear and change. And there's rumors too that the legendary of Wind and Waves is also gonna be custom and unique for every single player as they play through the games. And I would think it would be a really smart idea to have Pikachu, a pale Pikachu that, yes, it's unusually weird that it is pale, but I think the point of this Pokemon is to have customization and have different types of like fur, skins, the whole 9 yards. And I think it's supposed to be a customizable Pikachu, because the trailer that we got today from Pokopia showcased Schmeargrew first. He was doing some painting in the trailer, and then it leaded up to Pikachu. So I'm going to assume that you're going to be able to paint or change up Pikachu in Pokopia. And I think that same mechanic will get introduced into Generation 10, as they're trying to do a lot of just different ways for replay value for Generation 10 from the leaks that we got so far for development for those games. And again, I think Moslax's design is just peak. I think having a grass variant of Snorlax that was just sleeping too much on an island and got just consumed by the forest life and stuff, I think it's just such a cool concept. And in Pokemon Wind and Waves, we're supposed to be getting some islands that we can explore. I think it'd be really cool to travel to an island and then find a just Moslax just chilling around and hanging out. That'd be such a cool variant for a Pokemon. Because like, yes, it makes sense to put all these exclusive Pokemon in Pokopia so that us Pokemon fans are gonna go try the game out, just because that we want to take a look at the newest Pokemon. But again, the designs are just way too good to be only locked to a Pokemon game that you can't capture any Pokemon. The Pokemon just kind of hang out on your island and just, you know, you just do fun stuff with it. I'll tell you what though, I feel bad for Mimikyu. A lot of people online have been posting stuff that Mimikyu is now getting replaced with Pikachu. With Mimikyu, it resembles a Pikachu because it never was able to interact with any other Pokemon and stuff like that, because it was a creepy looking ghost. And then out of nowhere, Pokemon releases Pikachu as a Pokemon right here that looks like a ghost. On the bright side though, Mimikyu does seem to be in Pokopia. If we take a look at this promotional artwork right here, you'll actually see a Mimikyu kind of hiding in the background of the Pokemon Center. Now, I don't think this would happen, but I wonder if unlocking Pikachu in Pokopia, you need to be able to recruit Mimikyu into your island. It would be cool if they tied to this ghost-looking Pikachu with Mimikyu, since they're both ghost Pikachus in the first place. Some sort of event to where maybe Mimikyu transforms into a Pikachu or Pikachu and finally becomes a Pikachu like its hopes and dreams. Or again, like I said, with the whole customization thing, maybe this is just a Pikachu that just customizes and stuff and it's still an electric type. But I'm glad that Mimikyu is not forgotten, because like I said, a lot of people are sad that Mimikyu is basically getting replaced. One thing too that I feel like some people have missed out is that we're actually getting some pretty solid amount of Pokemon in Pokopia. Looks like we're getting Haxorus and Lucario as some Pokemon we're going to be able to get. The trailer here showcases that Piplup is going to be one of the other starters we're going to be able to get in Pokopia, along with Tetsugiri and Chimecho. We are also getting variants of Lapras and Dragonite in Ditto forms, and I'm not gonna lie, the Ditto Dragonite cracks me up. That forehead is huge. It's literally bigger than mine. They also showcased Gardevoir in this game, which is crazy, and it seems like every single evolution is going to be available in Pokopia. And I'm curious too on the lore on why we're developing the Pokemon Center in this game. I wonder if maybe we are able to kind of collect Pokemon in this, because there's also a PC Center too, which is interesting. But we'll probably be able to get more information on that when Poképia releases on March 5th. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about Pokopia. I think this game is going to be surprisingly well done. If you guys did enjoy this video, drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel, as we are going to be live streaming Pokopia when it comes out on March 5th. And other than that, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.